afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta, aka Hammonton Mike, back for another action-packed edition of the Sports Box, Sports in Our World. It's good to be back. People writing in asking where we are, what's going on. You know, a little time we had to get away for a while, but we're back, and hopefully we'll get some more episodes out there for you. First, I want to send two little notes out there. One to my friend Sarah at Sarah Says, who helped me get started in this business in her recent surgery. Sarah, hope you're feeling better. Hope everything's going well. And the other is Tyrone from Tyrone Magnus out there on YouTube. Phenomenal site. Check it out. Thank you to him for helping me get started along with Sarah. So I hope they're both doing good. Let's get to the NFL. The Tom Brady court hearing was yesterday. And Tom Brady was going to be, let off the hook or charges lessened against him. All he had to do was let them know that he was a part of the whole thing. And Tom, of course, said no, he's not, guilty of anything. So they're just going through the process now of going back to court and getting this taken care of. Tom, at this point, I think if you said something, it would only be 1 or 2 games, which isn't a big deal. But he wants to fight the fight. That's fine. The interesting thing about that whole thing is I'm going to be interested to see how Jimmy Garoppolo does in the backup role with the Patriots. In the recent years, the Patriots backups have been good players, so I'm interested to see how Garoppolo is going to play and keep them afloat until Brady gets back off his suspensions. A lot of fights in camp recently. It happens a lot every year, but it just seems like a little bit more this year in the NFL. You're talking Des Bryant with Tyler Patton, Cam Newton with Josh Norman, and then Geno Smith, the big one in the locker room, against IK Imekapala, who actually just got picked up by Buffalo recently, this morning actually. But, there's a case of over $600 in airline tickets, I think it was. Come on, Geno, for the money you're making, dude, bring the money to practice and take care of this. But Imekapala's got it in his own head. He's got to control himself as well. But it paid off really because he's in another camp and he's going to get a chance to play. So, sorry, Geno, 6 to 10 weeks, and now you got Mark Fitzpatrick. Ugh, what a nice year! What a nice start to the year that's going to be. With the Eagles being in Philadelphia, we're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles. The buzz about the training camps that they've had so far is the look of Sam Bradford. Now, they've had 2 open practices, and people have packed them in. Actually, 43,000 people went to the second open practice, which is phenomenal. But you got to understand, in the practices, a lot of people are going to look good. Not to say that Sam Bradford doesn't have an arm. Coming out of Oklahoma, he did have a cannon, which isn't the issue with him. The problem is if he can stand up or not. If the guy's going to be able to take a hit, his knee's going to hold up. That's the big issue, and I don't think you're going to be able to see that until opening game against Atlanta when the Eagles open up on the road. I think the preseason they're going to give him some series, and he'll run around a little bit here and there, move around in the pocket. But I really don't think you're going to see what you got with Sam Bradford until the opening week. So, hey, everything looks good so far. Quarterbacks are looking good. Receivers looking good. Jordan Matthews looks good right now. A lot of guys really look at their peak, so we will see. It's going to be an up-and-coming thing. We'll see. Some other notes in the NFL. Colts receiver T.Y. Hilton signed an extension yesterday, 5 years, $65 million. Great signing. Guy's going to be a stud, main leader of the Colts. I think it's a definitely good move to lock him up. Aldon Smith of the 49ers. What can you say about this guy? The guy was given another chance to play in the league, and then he's arrested on a charge of DUI. The story reads that he was doing 140 miles an hour in a residential area. The police tried to pursue him, and when they did pursue him, Aldon shut his lights off and ducked into a driveway thinking that the police were going to pass him. Okay, how much of an idiot are you, number one? And number 2 is, when he was pulled over, he had a 12-year-old child in the car with 2 other adults, and the car smelled like weed. Aldon, you're kidding me, right? You do not belong. You do not belong in the NFL. Okay, you get another chance, and then that happens. Idiot. Anyway, a good feel-good story. Chiefs defensive back Eric Berry back on the field in Chiefs camp after coming back being diagnosed with cancer last year. Great story. Glad to see he's back. Glad to see he's getting another shot at it, which is great. Turning to baseball, Hisaki Iwakuma yesterday for Seattle got a no-hitter for the 5th time in Mariners history. It's the first time an American League pitcher has done this since Felix Hernandez in 2012. So great news for Irasashi. He really deserved that solid game, but his strike count unfortunately was only 40%, which is the lowest in his career. So, but anyway, he got the no-hitter, which is great. The Philadelphia Phillies have been the hottest team since the All-Star break, which, you know, by all accounts, the way they've been going in the beginning of the year is great. The thing you have to look at, and this manager's done a great job, okay, and I think he deserves a shot next year at being the full-time manager, okay. But the Phillies avoided a sweep yesterday by beating the Diamondbacks 7-6. You also have to look at the team. They're still not that good. You have some prospects. You have some good young guys coming up, and there is a future with them. But you also have to look at they've allowed 32 runs in the last 3 games, which shows that they're not a good team. Hey, listen, people want to bash me, say I'm a Philadelphia hater and things like that. I'm really not. I think I'm an objective guy when it comes to this. The Philadelphia Phillies, obviously, they're not a good team. They're in last place in the division, and they started off horrible, and it seemed to go from bad to worse. But with this new manager, they've come around a little bit. It's going to be a process now for the Phillies to get back to what they were. But like I said, with Franco, Ruff, a lot of guys out there that have shown that they can play at this level. It's a good sign for the Philadelphia Phillies in the future. Franco is day-to-day with the injury to the wrist, getting hit the other night. And to be honest, I don't think Utley's going to make the trip back to Philadelphia, because I think by that time he's cleared waivers already. I think San Francisco is in talk with Philadelphia right now and some prospects getting it changed up. So I think it's good for Mr. Utley. He's going to be out in San Francisco playing for a contender. And that's all signs point to San Francisco. Could be somebody else, but all signs point there. He'll get a shot at contender, and he won't be a starter. He'll be in a backup role, but good for him. He can move on with that. The PGA tees it up this week at Whistling Straits in Wisconsin. The opening round is today, Thursday. A lot of good guys that can get back into this in the PGA Championship. You're talking Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy's first trip back from the injury, and by the way, playing soccer with his buddies. Yo, Rory, just stick with golf, buddy. You got Ricky Fowler, you got Dustin Johnson, you got even Justin Rose playing well. A lot of these guys really could take control of this, and Whistling Straits isn't exactly an easy course either. So, and that's right, I did not talk about Tiger. He will not be in the top 5. He will not win, so we will not talk about Tiger. If you're watching the Tiger Tracker this weekend on ESPN because somebody likes to kiss Tiger's ass a little bit, them in the Golf Channel, unfortunately, you're going to be watching some bad golf, so I feel bad for you. Last story we have in the NBA is the Morris brothers. The Morris brothers play for the Phoenix Suns. They've been with them for a while. They were drafted together, played college together, obviously, grew up together as brothers, obviously. But one of the Morris brothers was traded 3 days ago to Detroit. Markieff Morris came out and said he no longer wants to be in Phoenix. He's very upset at the Phoenix Suns, and he wants out. He will not report to training camp, and he wants to be traded immediately. Well, Markieff, not for nothing. I know there's brotherly love there. It is a business, number one. And you're getting paid $8 million. What are you thinking? Stay with the Suns, report to camp. What are you, nuts? I don't understand these guys. They just think they can run the league. But in any sense, that's the case. Well, that's all the time we have for the Sports Box. Glad you're watching. Glad you're staying in touch with us. We'll have some more episodes, I promise. We'll keep in touch. We'll have some new sports stuff. Hoping to get some specials on. Still looking for a sidekick. Anybody interested in joining me on the Sports Box, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, please write in. Let me know if you're interested. We'll talk about it. We'll get you on here. Remember, the Sports Box, the only thing that matters, the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta. Take care. See you soon. See ya!